All right, guys, welcome in. Wow, look at that timestamp. 20 years ago. That is amazing. Yes, that is in the suit. I know the video is not very. This is an old high 8 tape transfer. The high 8 was transferred to VHS. The VHS was transferred to CD. And then again, it's been converted over to a digital video, which is what we've done here. So you probably lose something in all that mass reproduction. The guy in the long shirt with the cane is yours truly, Reginald Vanderhoff. Managing Jess Bradley here. This is actually a promo that's going to set up the main event later on in the evening. I'll have to post that match later. Is that the software that I'm using doesn't allow for a full transfer, and that's why I'm doing this voiceover as well. Something happened with the sound. I'll just explain the basic setup for the match, and then we'll get into some more stuff here. I'm trying to organize my thoughts, but the basis of this is we're gonna set up a main event. The young lady is Jess's wife. In storyline, they're having a disagreement about his attitude and his relationship with me. As far as me managing him, I'm bad for his career. Blah blah blah. You know how that old chestnut goes. So of course she's gonna team up with the enemy, and and all this fun stuff. Like I said, when you look at that timestamp at 20 years ago, we actually had not been together as a manager wrestler relationship unit for very long. It had only started back in Batesburg, South Carolina in July, and then a lot of that got interrupted until American Classic Wrestling came back that year. This is actually the first show. We tried to do something, if I remember correctly, and like I said, my memory's not always the best. We tried to do something with American Pro Wrestling out of Spartanburg, Chesney area, and that I guess that relationship dissolved. There was one show, and then we were going to be the Southern Territory for them, and then that didn't quite work out. So whatever happened there, and I don't remember all the details. So we just basically became our own deal. So American Classic Wrestling had shut down, I think, at the end of '99, maybe the beginning of 2000. But anyway, it shuts down. So this is version 2. And you're going to see, if you watched any of my videos previously, you might see some familiar faces. This is a very, very young Roughouse Matthews, known as Lotus here, and to me he'll always be Lotus because that's how I met him. And a very young, well, much younger referee Scott Grady here, checking him out. So this is not his debut match, but I believe this is his debut with this particular promotion, this American Classic Wrestling version 2. And he sits in the corner a la Raven. He was, probably can't see it very clearly, he's wearing some makeup. It was a very gothy, dark look. Nothing like Roughhouse, the current version, or even the version that retired, a few years ago. I say a few years ago. It's probably, how long has it been since he's had a match? 10 years? Maybe 5 years. Anyway, so this is Tank Lewis, somebody that I'm very familiar with. We actually came, he was already in the promotion that I debuted with, so he was right there from the very beginning of my career. And this, like I said, sorry about no background noise. Something happened in conversion with the sound. I'll call and reminisce, and then we'll do what we can with this match. But yeah, it's interesting to take a walk back, where most people covering wrestling on this particular day would be talking about Jeff Hardy's AEW debut or some news with WWE, and here I am going back and going in the rewind machine 20 years, because you're going to get 100 videos on that. This, to my knowledge, has never seen the light of day on YouTube, as there was no, I mean, there probably was, but I didn't know how, a conversion process to put VHS or High 8 on YouTube and digitize it. But the technology has caught up to where it's easily done. And like I said, I've got to get some better software so we can get some volume, because the crowd is making noise here. You just can't hear it, and I certainly in this conversion can't hear it. There's a big clothesline by Tank onto Lotus, 2 count again. So you'll see, we'll, like I said, and this is going to go about 35 minutes. This actual cut of the show was about 2 hours long. And the software, that's me opening a drink if you heard something go psh. Like I said, the show was about 2.5 hours long. Whatever this software is, and I need to go back and look at what I downloaded. Would only let me do about 30 minutes or so, a little over 30 minutes. So we're going to get the beginnings, but we're not going to get the end. Hopefully, at the very least, I'll be able to download that main event in the future and just show you what happened in that particular match, because that one more involves me. But I went ahead and didn't edit this down. Because again, the promo in the beginning is very, very short. I think in the original VHS recording we didn't even get it all, so we got what we got. I get my 5 minutes of fame on camera, and then that's it. And then I'll go back and call the rest of this. And if you've seen other videos, I do love my cherry soda, so I'll sip on that while I call this match. 2 big guys, nothing fancy, nothing real complicated. We got some arm wringers, twists, takedowns, lots of headlocks, lots of takedowns, power stuff, wear the other guy down, things of that nature. And again, these guys are very, very young, compared to where we are now. If they were to have this match today, I'm sure there would be a more of a judge's score for difficulty, or there would be some more complexities to this particular match. But right now, Lotus has regained control, sitting on the back of Tank, wrenching back, probably doing something illegal there as the referee was counting. And then the ropes, there's a little sliding drop kick. I'd like to see you do that today, Roughouse. I pick on him because we're friends. But it's people might ask, what were you thinking at the time, or what was going on, during this period? And really, I was still very, very young to it. I was February of 2020, or not 2022, excuse me, 2002. I was maybe a year and a half in at that point, so I had not formulated the strong opinions that I have on the business now. I was probably just happy to be there and be in a good spot. And performing near home is always a plus, because there's less traveling and less aggravation. But was that 3? I guess I missed the 3 count as I was reminiscing, so it's over. Tank wins, but they would go on to have many, 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 many more matches, I'm sure. I can think of a few right off the top of my head. And that series is probably pretty even if you just want to keep score. So Lotus is out there, and we'll get ready for the next match. And I believe this next match is a debut. if I'm not mistaken. I'll try to fill the air here with, because like I said, I didn't make any cuts. I really didn't go back and edit this thing. I put my intro in, I put the outro in, and I didn't really do much editing to this particular video. I just kind of let it roll. I think there was a case or two where I had to make a cut or two in the screen conversion, but other than that, we'll just watch the referee sit here. We'll watch a few fans. Maybe there's something good at the concession stand, I hope, or a merch table. As we're going to wait on the next two. And we'll probably see that fancy fog machine go off. Oh, no fog machine. Okay, so this is Blackout. And it's not the original Blackout. There was another Blackout before him. And unless you were a fan in Charleston, you didn't remember the first Blackout, much less the second Blackout. But we put him under a mask because, like I said, he was still... this is a guy named Jason Kerner. He was still pretty green to it, and like I said, I was too, because like I said, only a year and a half in. But I believe this is his debut match, so we put him under a hood for a little while, just let him do this, so he can get some experience until he developed a character, or as he part of his development. Later on, he would do a kind of a womanizer, gigolo type thing named Blake Cannon, and then he had a shoulder injury, and then he eventually left the business. Got married, went on to run an electrical company. Don't know what he's doing now. He's probably on Facebook. We say hi every once in a while, and that's about the extent of it. I see smoke, so getting good use out of that fog machine that they had. Well, here is this guy. Now, you might recognize this guy. This is his second incarnation of a character. He was originally called Micah Steamboat up in American Pro Wrestling. That's how he debuted. This is Mykata. Later on, this guy will become Malachi, the Malachi version that existed down here in the Southeast. Like I said, I'm rambling here. Guys that are young, trying to find their way, trying to develop a character, trying to see what works, trying to see what sticks. And he was not a pale face. He was a darker skinned guy. He's actually part Indian, but he's doing a Japanese thing here. So go figure. But it works. Face paint, got the sash. He's got the judo background. I believe it's judo. It's some kind of karate. I know judo and karate aren't the same thing. I don't mean to insult anybody. Let me just clear that up. Martial arts. But he's got martial arts background. Amateur wrestler. Really good from a young age. And like I said, we're going back and forth here. This is the at least up to this point. This would be the typical match you'd have in camp. Training session, things of that nature. It'll get a little more complex later on. You'll see what I'm talking about. Mykata, Malachi. I'm going to slip back and forth between the two names. He was always an outside the box guy. Even when he was young. So you'll see some different things. It's not quite going to be like the last match. Last match was very basic. Right now we're going to start off basic, and then we're going to advance. Excuse me, a little sip of soda here. And this is North Charleston, South Carolina. I believe this would be the last. I think this is called Armory Park building. I believe this is going to be the last time we use this building. It's the last time I was ever in this building. Believe it or not, 20 years. Because we never had another show there. We would eventually move to Sterrett Hall, which was on the old naval base that had shut down a couple years prior, and then we would eventually make our way to the Northwoods gym, which was a little further up the road. So we kept moving further north. North Charleston. We kept moving north of North Charleston. So. I take that back. Sterrett Hall was probably a little bit south, but then we eventually moved north, like closer to the Goose Creek area, right outside of Goose Creek, North Charleston border. Anybody familiar with the Lowcountry of South Carolina? So this, like I said, very, very early in these guys' careers. Russian leg sweep here, yes. For those of you really young folks, I'm sure you're loving this 4-3 format. Sorry, it's not widescreen. It didn't exist in 2002, or if it did, it certainly wasn't widely available in the United States. So, Mykata here, getting trying to get his accolades here as Blackout doesn't like all that. I'm here to stop that noise. Nice power slam for a young guy. That looked really good. Really did that well. Executed that move very well. I said you notice that that Blackout is a lefty, and it's hard for left-handed people because they do everything back. Not necessarily do everything backwards, but what I'm trying to say is, everything's. You naturally work to that side, and then you have to learn everything kind of the opposite. And a nice backdrop there. So again, for his youth, well, really both guys young, certainly displaying stuff that would make them, even better later on. Like I said, and it's not a bad little match. So see there again, the lefty clothesline, something you gotta adjust to when you're working with a guy in the ring like that, just not used to throwing rights. So, once again, now look at the athleticism right there. He blocks the kick, grabs the leg, but he turns it into a nice hurricane runner there. Gets a 2 count out of that. Just nice movement in the ring. I said for how young these guys were. One guy's got maybe a year, the other guy's doing a debut match. It's a pretty smooth little match, and it's a credit to both guys, especially to Mykata, who was probably calling most of this. Him being the more experienced guy, but like I said, it's a accolade to the training. Now this right here, if I remember this comes. Here's where the inexperience is going to show up, because he's going all the way around. Waiting for that referee to turn away, whacks him with a chair. Little bit awkward, to say the least, but I don't know who called that one. I probably would have. Scott may have been the only referee. Probably couldn't bump him there. I don't think I would have used the chair at that point. Probably would have found some other way to cheat. That's inexperience right there. So he's gonna pull him up now. Another whip. Nice height on the drop kick for a young guy. So he's. Like I said, they're both giving each other. Take a young guy. You could just go out and squash him, but they're working together. They're letting each other display what they have. So good on them. Having a nice little match here. Up to the top, springboard drop kick, hangs him upside down. This is the part where I wish you could hear. I wish you could hear these chops, because these things are loud. And I've been hit with a few of them, and they don't feel good. Everybody's like, "What's it like to get chopped?" Does it hurts exactly like it sounds with most guys. There's no way to pull a chop where it doesn't hurt. Unless you're a magician. I haven't run into anybody that can do that. They just hit you full force. So, calling for a Hurricanrana, battling on the ropes. Oh, and that's a long drop. Say about, 3-4 feet to the apron. Now, here comes the girl, Jasmine Bradley. She's going to do the X Factor. I think this will lead her into managing Mykata, if I remember right. Can't remember exactly all the storylines here. Solitude to come out and put the chair somewhere. This should be a flying headbutt. Spoiler alert, because that was his finisher at the time. So he's going to go up. He's going to do the bow. Flying headbutt. This should be the end of the match. And it is. Okay, so now Solitude places the chair. Now he comes back. He grabs the chair. Like I said, and again, this is guys being young. I'm not sure why we're doing these spots, but anyway, it backfires. Thou shalt not use the chair on me. I got it away from you. I use it on you. So, I think initially the plan might have been to team these two up. I just don't remember. So it's been 20 years. I'm lucky to remember the things I do remember. But Mykata wins. So she's going to be his valet manager from now on, I believe, throughout the rest of the storyline. I know he did turn heel down the road, but that's another video. And maybe I'll post it. So I don't want to give it all away. Here's the ref. We will gingerly slide this chair outside the ring. Hopefully nobody else will use it. But they probably will if it's out there. And nice frisbee toss by the referee with the hat there, showing off those skills. All right, there's a little fade there. We'll go forward a little bit. I did have to edit something out. It just looked weird. So this is the debut of Solitude. For any old school championship wrestling fans who ever wanted to see this, there it is. It is the debut match, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. Caught in beautiful 8mm, converted to CD, converted to digital, right here on YouTube. Indeed, this is it. This is what started it all. So if you follow Solitude's career, you know where this ends up. We end up with old school championship wrestling down the road, but back then he was only a wrestler and not a promoter. So this is going to be the debut. I expect to see more smoke. Maybe we get it, maybe we don't. I keep waiting on that fog machine. I don't know why I'm so amused by it. Just the fact that we had something. Nope, here he comes. Everyone's favorite transvestite, Tommy Feathers. One half of Sinfully Sweet along with the Amazing Velvet. So this is the debut match for Solitude. At this point, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, he is a bad guy. And then you find out later on he doesn't have a bad guy bone in his body, so we had to make him a good guy. If I have that to put on here down the road, we'll show you why. But if anybody's ever met him and knows him in real life, he just doesn't have a mean bone in his body. But anyway, here he is the bad guy, and the guy that's dressed like a chick is the good guy. So figure that out. Here in the conservative South, I'm not trying to make a political statement. I'm just making jokes. So please don't anybody take that too seriously. So I think he's out, probably dancing around. It's off screen. You can't really see it. Like again, this is this is old tech. It's very much VHS like. It's on a tripod. It's being recorded on one of those 8mm cameras. What are you gonna do? It was 2002, guys. Some shows probably had a little bit better tech than we had. So, I think this is probably my own personal. This is my own personal recording. So if we didn't have this, there would be no video at all of this match or this show or whatever. Because I don't know if anybody else even bothered to capture it. I know there's plenty of still photos. I have a lot of those as well. So, but here we go for what it is, and the camera's pulled way back so you can see the whole ring. We're gonna get a little match here, and a big tie up. now that I found a little funny because Solitude's bigger and stronger, but he got shoved back. Should I call out the flaws or just let this roll? I'm being overly critical. It's 20 years of being in the wrestling business, and it's 20 more being a fan. So, but of course you're gonna get kissed in the corner. So, poor Solitude, who's trying to be this very serious bad guy, is in there with this guy who obviously likes to joke, obviously likes to clown. So it's a very odd dichotomy, but we've got what we've got. And I will tell you one thing about Tommy Feathers: he hits hard. He's not a big guy, but I mean, sometimes when he punches you, it's pretty legit. No, right? Of course, all this stuff, all this goofing and stuff. This is the painless stuff. It's just when he draws back and pops you in the jaw. It stings a little bit. We get some arm drags. Like I said, we're gonna go through a lot of the basics here. Snapmare out of the corner. Gonna drop the fist. So early on, the young guy gets the wrestling lesson. You get a little whip off the ropes, clothesline. Like I said, you're not gonna get anything super fancy out of these two. It's gonna be some more meat and potato stuff. There's a DDT for your trouble. 1, 2, and yes, back in 2002, we were using the DDT as a cutoff spot. So, there you go. It quit being a finisher a long time ago. Everyone complains. Just don't do that. If you have Jake Roberts on your show or Raven or somebody like that uses that move, don't use it as a cutoff, guys. That's disrespectful. Here it's okay, because there's nobody using a DDT finish. So. Okay, so now we move to one corner, then we go to the other corner. So, circle, circle. Now see, this is what should happen right here. That's a good call. I think the bigger guy should be throwing around the smaller guy, so. I don't know. Now, that is interesting, because I don't know if he ever used that move again. He dropped the leg on the arm and barred the arm. I don't know if he. Wow, I've seen so many of Solitude's matches. I don't remember that move at all. Of course, now it's 20 years worth of stuff, so forgive me if I'm wrong. I really curious just to see what what we were using here. I think we've transitioned to the side headlock now. But yeah, 20. When am I recording this? March 9th. So this is over 20 years old. So it's interesting, and just at the same time, I feel like I'm going through a time machine, a time warp. When I look back to this period, as I was the bright young age of 29, which is a little late for the wrestling business, just starting out. And like I said, there would be many matches, many shows, many miles on the road, many stories to tell. I could make this YouTube channel and just telling wrestling stories. Some I can't tell. Some that should stay quiet. Others I could probably elaborate a little bit on. Alright, so as we progress, so we're going to get the whip in. Now I know that was a clothesline. I don't know if that was a clothesline and a knee, or the knee accidentally came up. Oh, there's a splash. Like I said, I said there's some different stuff here. I maybe when he went good guy, the style changed. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've watched this. I've actually been in the ring with Tommy Feather, so this is about what I expect. But see, try it too many times, it doesn't work. The wily veteran. Here we go. And I'm not making fun of him. He did the exact same thing when I got through the ropes the first time. It's just natural instinct to want to put on the brakes if you don't know how to go through them, or haven't really been shown how to go through the ropes. I would get it down later on, and I'm sure Solitude did too. But yeah, your natural instinct is to put on the brakes. He still went through, but you're trying to see where it slowed down. So now we get the chair, and this is definitely a Tommy Feathers thing. Yeah, I think the referee's going to warn him. I think he did warn him. You brought it in the ring, but don't use it. So now Solitude's going to pick it up. Well, he didn't use it, so there's no disqualification there. I'm just wondering how odd this gets. Well, he sat him in the chair and drop kicked him off the chair, so he didn't actually use the chair, so I guess we don't get a DQ. This next move is a questionable DQ or not, I think. There's kind of he kind of dropped hold him into the chair, but again, he didn't really pick it up and use it, so I guess it's the referee's discretion. Of course, it being 20 years later, I just wouldn't have, unless it was no DQ, I wouldn't have brought the chair in, because sometimes if you don't know the ref, they'll just throw the match out. Because they don't want to look stupid. In that case, I think this is a leg stretch hold, and we do get the submission. Can't really see the tap out from the camera angle. I'm not sure if there was one, but anyway. So, and he just kicks him out for good measure, because that's what Tommy Feathers does. So, there's your winner. And that was Solitude's debut. But don't worry, folks. He'll be the good guy American later on, I promise. But yeah, debuted as a bad guy, believe it or not, for anybody that knows the guy. And I don't know, this may be getting ready to stop. I don't know if there's any other matches after this, because I don't have I'm doing the voiceover and I don't really have a timestamp here at the end, so I'll just have to keep watching to see if anything else happens. Our poor referee, he's just in there, got to wait around for the next interesting thing to happen. But give Scott Grady some credit here, man. Iron Manning the show like he does. If I was running a show, I'd use him tomorrow or today if I was running today. You know what I mean. Well-experienced guy. Good guy. Use him in a heartbeat. Oh, well, now I see that the video is coming to an end, so I hope you have enjoyed this look back on my career. Look back at Roughouse, look back at Solitude, Tank, Mykata, all those guys. American Classic Wrestling from 2002. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.